Hello and welcome to the Bold Leadership Story Show, where we talk about the experiences shaping exceptional lives. And today I am very honored to have the opportunity to chat with Hope Suhr. She lives in the Temecula Valley with her husband Daniel. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hope, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir,
Suhr.
sir.
Thank you. Hope Suhr. Okay, I've been saying that wrong. Hope Suhr. And
Everybody does.
So today we're going to chat about Hope and her bold leadership stories. And I know there's going to be some fun to be had in this episode of the show. Hope is such a dynamic person. Let me go through a little bit of her background. She grew up in an entrepreneurial family. Her father was actually in the insurance business and made his fortune there. So it looks like the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree, right? So, and her early years were spent raising her two boys, helping her husband run a recycling company. So you've been involved with businesses for quite a while. And then as the boys struck out on their own, you went out on your own too, established a manufacturing consultancy, looks like. So, and built up clientele and relationships, good relationships that I'm assuming you still maintain, knowing you throughout the Inland Empire. And so very influential and helpful person to have in the community. Hope in 2010 founded Hope's Chest. And I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about that during our time together. I think there's some really good stuff in there for us to chat about. It looks like a really great business that you had, and then you've been featured in the North County Times and the California Business Scene magazine, and getting some really good recognition, well deserved, I'm sure, and several accolades we can talk about, and then you've returned to your family roots now and in financial planning. And so now you're doing that, and you've helped me actually with setting up my Medicare. So I very much appreciate your help with that. Got me out of a sticky situation where I just didn't know what I was doing. And you came in and said, "Hey, no problem. Just relax." And we chatted for a bit, and you gave me some really good advice. And now I'm all set and excited, actually. So with what I have. And so very much appreciate that, and would recommend you for anyone, and especially as you approaching that age where you need to apply for Medicaid or Medicare. I get confused
Medicare.
on all that. Yeah, that Hope is very knowledgeable and helpful with that. So recommend her at any time. And you're also looks like a snow skier. Do you like to snow ski? Do you snowboard too?
No,
No,
but I
I do
love.
both. I do snow skiing and snowboarding. So I
Wow.
started snow skiing when I was 9, long time ago, up in Northern California at Heavenly Valley. Yeah,
Oh gosh,
yeah, it
love
was
it.
been skiing all over the place. So
Heavenly.
that's one of my loves. And then you know, travel, cook, entertain, family stuff. So with that, let's get on with our chat. So tell me a little bit about what's going on right now with you, Hope.
Well, right now, I'm at my low with Medicare because that's what I'm concentrating on right now, is Medicare, life insurance, health insurance, and we're, going to be moving into our senior lives. And so my husband and I, so we're building this residual income. And that's what Medicare offers. I now have third generation. My son joined us in this business, and he will be learning the trade, and hopefully he will be way more successful than my father or I, because I feel like it's such a great business for anybody that wants to have residual income. So that's where I'm concentrating on. It brings great residual income.
Okay. So when you say residual income, what does that mean? Because I've heard of different, there's a whole bunch of different ways to generate income. And I've always, one of the things I'm working on right now is creating that income that you get when you're sleeping, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
is that, and I've heard of passive income, but there's a lot of tax implications with that, which I don't want to get into here, but the
right,
residual
right.
income part is very interesting. So are you
Yeah, so
building a team?
I am. I'm always looking for new talent. I love self-starters, people that want to dig in, research, and learn because it is, you had mentioned it earlier. Wow, is it Medicaid, Medi-Cal,
Right?
Medicare?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what do I do? That's like so confusing. They've got it set up where you need somebody. It's like the tax laws. If you
Yeah,
want to, you need somebody to help you guide you through that. And
right, right. Talking about that, I have a great EA, and I always recommend everybody going and seeing an EA, an enrolled agent, because they know the tax laws. So
uh,
that's what I use.
okay.
Anyways, as far as the residual income is concerned, um, you build your business, and the longer your clients stay with you, you get paid every month,
Okay.
every month. And
Love
so,
that.
pardon?
I love that idea.
Oh, isn't it though? My dad, he's my stepdad. At one point, he had about $100,000 a month income. That's 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 a pretty decent business. Now
I
he
think I
built
could
that.
figure out a way to live on that.
Yes, I'll eventually get there. I'm not there because I'm only, 5 or 6 years into this business, but and he spent 35 years in it. So I always listened. So I eventually realized I'm like that mouse on the in that wheel. I just keep going around, but I'm not taking care of my future. So I went, I think I need to do this. And I love helping my seniors. I love those that are trained 60. I love those that are trained 65 because they're like sponges on what do I do as yourself.
Hmm.
So prior to doing this, I was in a company called Hope's Chest. Um, that is a bra fitting company. And
Okay.
I founded that company because I am short and
Hmm.
I was very well endowed.
Hmm.
And I had such a hard time finding bras that would fit.
Okay.
So I spent years researching the industry, talking to everybody I could talk to about bra fitting, and also going to the library and just researching. I had 7 boxes behind me full of information. I gathered it down and figured out my own way to do it. And the fitting was precision.
Hmm.
And it's like building or manufacturing a bra is like trying to build a suspension bridge. It takes
Yeah.
engineering.
It's kind of funny because I had a friend long time ago, a friend who actually was involved with inventing the underwire bra, and
Oh,
he had stories to tell. Yeah, it was like, wow, I had no idea that there was so much engineering behind
oh,
something that we all use. Well, I don't, but most of the ladies are using today.
yes, absolutely. And so I ended up opening up Hope's Chest. I did it out of my home at first because I worked for a company. By the way, I wanted to make a little correction. California Manufacturing Technology Consulting is the company that I work for.
Okay.
I was number 1 on the team, and I love helping manufacturers. It was like my favorite job I've ever had. But I also knew I was working with all these engineers. I was the only one that was a non-degreed um, rep. Now, when I say rep, I would go out and find the companies, and I'd set them up with one of my colleagues.
Mhm.
And I really loved it so
So
much.
what
But
was that? I mean, I've heard stories about, the women that get, for whatever reason, get involved with a group of guys, men who, and engineers are typically, from my experience, um, kind of tough to work with. They're not really high personality types, and they're very,
oh yeah, well,
but
you know
you're
that
you're
doesn't
you're
bother me.
definitely high personality type. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've added value there for sure, but it's just one of those interesting things. How did you deal with that? Was there challenges? Did they look down on you at all, or?
No, they didn't. I think that they stood back and kind of go, what is she going to do now?
Yeah.
We would do these fabulous team building situations. I remember one situation that you'll laugh about. We were supposed to grab balloons and build a tower.
Okay.
Well, all these guys would sit around and they're thinking about it. I said, okay, just trust me on this. I'm a mom. I said, every one of you grab tape and get in a circle. And they're like, what are you doing? I said, just trust me. Because we were timed. And they were like, I don't know what you're doing, but
they were thinking about all the dynamics and the airflow and earthquake damage and all the technical stuff. And you're like, nah, let's just get this done.
Yeah. So I made them all get in a circle, and I grabbed one balloon, stuck it on the balloon because I had them hold the tape outwards.
Okay.
Stuck another balloon. So we had to actually build a pyramid, and they're like, oh, we catch the vision. And then a small round, and before you know, it was like a Christmas tree, and we won. But they took over, by the way, when they caught the vision. But it was my idea, because engineers are overthinkers. Oh my goodness, are they ever? And I'm an action girl. I'm a get her done. You just start moving.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, my husband's an engineer.
Okay.
Now so he's a high level thinker, high IQ, and you've had conversations with him. He's a wonderful man, but over the top thinker. But you know what? I didn't have a problem with them. I didn't have a problem, but I also knew I wasn't going to stay in this job. So I was talking to one of the directors, and I said, I think I'm going to start a bra company. And he's like, well, how are you going to do that? So that's when I did all my research. I launched Hope's Chest and eventually started helping women that were in need of prosthesis and bras that would help with breast cancer.
Okay.
And the pocket bras and all that stuff.
Oh, that's wonderful. What were the challenges you faced getting that started?
Learning that industry, because it's a whole different animal. It's.
Why do you say that? What's different about it?
Different size. Every woman's different. It's like I had a conversation today, Jim, with a lady that said, and I'm bouncing all over the place, so forgive me for that. She said, oh, I want this one plan. I said, who told you about that plan? I'm going somewhere with this. And she said, oh, my neighbor. I said, but your history and your health is so different. I said, that's like you seeing a pair of shoes that she has, and you go, I want those shoes. Mm-hmm. And you go to try them on, and they're not going to fit. That's the same way with a bra. Every woman is completely different. What's going to fit one woman will not fit another woman. When it comes to the breast forms for cancer survivors, for those that have had a mastectomy. Now, a mastectomy is a woman that has had their breast removed. Mm-hmm. There's a whole new language with breast cancer that you don't even realize that is out there. So I had to get educated on that. I did a lot of classes, a lot of training, and my fitting became precision as well. And I partnered up with a group out here called Michelle's Place, and they would send people to me, etc. So I love that. Now, I just got done with not even recovering from breast cancer, but isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
I'm a breast cancer survivor now. I'm all good though. It's all good. So yeah, I was led down this road to learn. Yes, I know. How to help women. My mom's a breast cancer survivor, and that's also what launched me wanting to help.
Well, that's honorable and admirable. And so are you still involved with that at all anymore?
I have a lot of clients. I had over 5,000 clients, and they all, were sad that I was closing the business because I was moving into the insurance industry. Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and said, I'm not going to do it in location. I will do it out of my home. And I did that for a while. And then I just did bra fittings online when we went through the COVID situation.
Okay.
And I did all the I came up with a system on Q&As and based on their measuring and talking to them via Zoom. And we would come up with the right size. Um, and I'm going to tell you, it was a little bit of a challenge at first, and then it became really, really um, much easier as we kind of put systems into play. Because isn't it businesses are about systems, right? In order for things to work smoothly.
Yeah, yeah, the good ones. Yeah, it's a shame that one of the things that I spent some time up in San Jose working with startups in the Silicon Valley for a while. And one of the things that we talked about up there were exit strategies. When you're founding a company, that's one of the things that uh, is encouraged by the investment world, I think, is to take a look at even in your initial business plan. What is it that you're going to do to structure your company for either an exit at some point or what they call a liquidity event, where you get an injection of money that you can keep your key players, your key teammates in the business, solid, and keep everybody happy, because startups are a lot of work, as you know. So
Oh, and a lot of money. Yes.
yeah, so it's that exit, and so you didn't have any exit strategy at all going in place.
Well, I did, but not probably like what you would be suggesting. I was also at the time trying to take care of my husband. He had crushed his foot.
Uh,
So I was running back. Oh, and I had a dog that got hit, a big, huge husky shepherd. So he could barely walk. So I had to constantly be running back to the house to let him out, or else I'd come home to a mess. It was a very trying time. And so I scaled down, scaled down, scaled down to the point where it was not even sellable. I still have my client list. I have
uh,
some people popping in and saying, hello, how are you doing? I still have all of the systems. I don't know if I could sell it or not, but I know that it was for a time and for a season in my life.
mhm.
Um, my husband was number one. I had to take care of him, and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
so we've battled a lot of health issues in the last 4 years. That's why I moved to this residual business of Medicare. But he lost a leg, had a quadruple bypass. This is not a downer, by the way. Um, rectum bleed and just everything. And he has now a new prosthesis, and he's up and walking now again. But it's been a lot. So I
You
couldn't
guys have been
concentrate.
through some challenges.
We have, but it's, you know what? It's our story, and it's all good. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, that's it. Yeah,
you know,
it's about how you handle it. It's not the challenges you face, it's how you handle the challenges, right? And
absolutely.
in keeping that mindset. How do you do that? How do you keep such a positive outlook with all of that going on?
Well, I think it's
What's
number
your
one,
secret?
it's my nature, I think. Feel like some people may say that I'm a little naive, and I go, I'd rather be naive than hard-hearted like you.
Right.
I believe it's just because I always say it always works hard. It always works out. And you just have to stay focused on what the next thing is,
Mm.
whether that's getting up in the morning and I have a quiet time. I sit and just drink my coffee or my hot tea, and I just relax and I just spend some time in meditation. And then I get up and I start going and doing, and I write a list. I've got a list of all my to-dos
Yeah.
every morning of what I need to conquer. I think it's really important to do that. I love this little book that I've got. And I just, you know what? Negative takes a lot of energy,
Hmm.
and you have to really think hard about negative energy. And it takes so much effort to get there, even to think negative about somebody or an issue or a situation. It's so much easier to say, you know what? It's going to work out. It always does. And I see this happen over and over again where it works out. It only works out because you're moving forward and
Hmm.
you're just taking that next step and jumping in and trying to do what you can. That's very generic. I know that, Jim, and I don't mean to be so generic, but it's just
Oh, you know what?
moving.
It's real though. I mean, it sounds, kind of cliche, I guess, but wow, it's real. I mean, that's your story, as you said. And so
Yeah.
it's actually you're putting that to work for you and making that happen in your life. And it's success for you.
It's lifting others up too. I'm a big believer in not always putting yourself first,
Hmm.
taking care of yourself by what I do in the morning time, meditation and everything else.
Tell me about
And
that.
my,
What does your morning routine look like? I'm
I'm usually,
curious because it's like I have spoken with a lot of very successful people, and that's one of I think, the success habits that I've noticed. But everybody's got a little different thing. What is it that you do? She'll share.
I get up in the morning time and I say good morning to all my animals because we love animals, and they all come cuddling or let them out, and I go make my coffee and I sit down and I'm a Christian, so I open up the Bible, and but I before I do that, I go through and I say happy birthday to all my friends
Hmm.
that it's their birthday. I send a text to everybody that it's their birthday, that I don't have Facebook on or social media stuff. And that's my give. I like to
Hmm.
lift people up. And
Hmm.
then I spend some time just reading and just being quiet and praying and then just kind of thinking about my day and what's going to happen that day and drinking my coffee. And then I get myself ready. I'm usually at my desk by 8 o'clock, usually suited up because it makes me feel better when I'm suited up.
Ah, really?
And
Okay. So even though you don't may not have any appointments, or you're just talking to people on the phone,
right.
you're all dressed and ready to go.
Yep. Because you never know when somebody's going to say, can we jump on a Zoom?
Right?
And I'm like, ready, ready. Oh no, no, I can't do that right now because you got your hair in bandana and everything else. No, I'm
Right.
ready. So
Awesome.
ready. Yeah, yeah. So, but that's my thing, and then it gives me an opportunity to spur on it. Hey, can you go for coffee? Can you meet today? And if my calendar's not full, then sure we can. Either way, Zoom or meet if my calendar's not full. So,
So
yeah.
Hope, what would you say from your perspective is the most important thing, the one most important thing that to develop leadership?
Lifting others up, putting them in a place of helping them be successful. It's the opposite of a pyramid, right? If you can be on the bottom lifting people up. I have a couple of people that are with on my team, and they're trying to get to that next level so they can be independent, and they constantly are asking me, should I do this, should I do that, and I go, what is going to benefit you? Well, I don't want it to hurt the team. It's not about the team. This is about you and what it's going to do for you to help you feel a little bit more sustainable, supported, and strong. And your decision that you make is always going to be the best for you. Yes, sometimes the decisions can hurt or affect other people. Hopefully it doesn't hurt, but affect other people.
Hmm.
But in the long run, it'll be good for all that are, in the game together.
Okay, that's awesome. So what's looking back on your significant amount of um, entrepreneurial work you've done that always, I mean, every day you're making decisions about one thing or another, fighting fires, making things happen, um, trying to, balancing all these plates up in the air, right? Um, what's how would you describe the most bold leadership decision that you made, and what happened from that decision?
That's a good question, Jim. I'm going to be very general again. I think just going with your gut. A lot of people don't realize how intense their gut tells them to do something and go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hear it, hear it, hear it, and do it. And I always say, you know what? Don't share your idea with friends and family,
Mm-hmm.
especially for an entrepreneurial idea, because most of them, they love you. They want to see you succeed, but their whole thing is not understanding your vision. And sometimes you can't articulate your vision. So you share with them a general idea of what you want to do. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, years ago, I'll come up with so many ideas. Years ago, I came up with, son, I called my son, you keep calling me for recipes. I love to cook, by the way. You keep calling me for recipes. And he goes, yes. I said, how about if I just go shop, put it all in a basket, a box,
Mm-hmm.
and do a little video of me cooking it, and I'll send it to you. Oh, he loved that idea. He got it. He followed it, loved it. I said, I think there's a business here.
Yeah.
And he said, no, Mom, that's so silly. Nobody would do it. Nobody would pay for it. And this is way before it started. Yeah. So don't listen to other people and what they think a business opportunity could be. If you see the need, go for it. Just do it. Don't share it with your friends and family because they want you to stay safe.
Yeah. Yeah, they're best intentions, but I agree with you. They know you too well, and they know that you've, maybe failed once or twice, and they're trying to protect you.
Best thing is failure, right? The best thing is failure.
Oh,
And you learn
absolutely.
so much.
Yeah, our school system is set up in a way that discourages people to experiment and fail. You fail, you're no good. It's like you're fired. But when you're an entrepreneur and you fail, that's like, Eureka, I've just learned something new. And as long as you don't continue to do that, the best thing, one of the things I learned recently, I was listening to an audio tape from Robert Kiyosaki, and he was talking about his time with Buckminster Fuller. He spent some time learning from Buckminster Fuller. And one of the things that calls him Bucky would say is that failure is not a sin as long as you learn from the experience and don't repeat it. So it's taking that mindset and saying, okay, well, I'm just going to go for it. I don't know I don't have a complete plan, but let's just see what happens and go into it, wade in, and figure out what to do to make it happen. And that's the entrepreneurial spirit. I love that. And I see that in you.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
Thank you. I also had another idea many years ago. My grandfather and my grandmother, they were very wealthy. So I thought maybe they'll support me in this business. So I laid out this whole plan of doing a drive-through sandwich shop.
Okay.
Panera. They're like, oh no, that's too risky. Not everybody eats sandwiches. I said, no, they do. So, oh my gosh, I can't tell you the countless amount of things. Salad. Oh, we're talking 30 years ago. I said, let's create salads that are pre-washed and separated, carrots and celery and all this stuff, all pre-done. Voila.
You see that in every airport going.
I know. I came up with that, 35 years ago. And my whole family did say that I should do that, but I just didn't know how to work that capital. I was still so young,
right,
that I didn't understand how to do that. So there's the thing, is getting these tools into young entrepreneurs' hands.
So
Us old
you
folks,
say
we
tools,
kind of learn now.
the tools of what?
how to start, where to go, what licenses do you need? Who do you go to for capital? Do you do angel investing? Where do you go to get all this information? It's just
Mhm.
not a lot of public knowledge out there. Had I had that, I would have had that Panera and I would have had that salad company. And I would have had, maybe that table, box to table business. But I am where I'm at and I love it. I'm grateful. I've helped a lot of women. I got SBA Women's Business Champion of the Year in 2013.
Okay.
And that was because I was out there helping others succeed.
Hmm.
And I really loved seeing that. I had one girl that started manufacturing swimsuits because I also did swimsuits in my boutique.
Okay.
And she started manufacturing them and she was in a teeny little spot and I helped her move into a new location that helped her get more exposure. She was next to me. We kind of cross marketed and we did very well with that group of women. But and I helped a lot of other people too. So that SBA Women's Business Champion in 5 states, that was a real honor. That was a real honor. So only one a year. So that was the 50th year anniversary. So that was a real privilege.
Awesome. What do you see as, um, what do you see in the future for, um, the Temecula Valley area that we're in here? And how do you see yourself helping this area to prosper?
Wow, that's an interesting question. Well, there's nothing but growth out here
Hmm.
because we have a lot of dirt. So there's going to be a lot of growth. It's I think as you go down the corridor, the 250 of the 15 and the 215, there's going to be a lot of room for retail, and I think retail is going to come back. It's going to be smaller scaled though; it's not going to be as big scaled, and I believe that it's going to bring a little bit more of a family feel
Mm.
versus such a big environment and more relationships. That sounds cliche, but I'm a relationships type of person,
Hmm.
one-on-ones, and I love group settings as well. But I think that there's a lot of needs out here in this area, the Temecula Valley, this whole region up and down the 15. Uh, and I just see nothing but growth because there's so much room to build. Wildomar is exploding.
Hmm.
Marietta is constantly growing and bringing in new businesses. Temecula is just it's got the most beautiful wineries in our region. You know,
Yeah, it's amazing out here. The wineries, the equestrian horses, the burgeoning um, microbreweries. There's lots of really, really, really good beer being made, and
I
there's
know.
there's whiskey distilleries popping up now,
I,
little boutique whiskey distilleries that they're making some really fun things, and
yeah,
it's a really exciting, I think, to see that all happening. And one of the things I want to foster with this medium here, this this podcast, if you will, is to showcase the Temecula Valley talent like you in the area that it's like we should be doing. I would like to see us be doing more things internally within Temecula Valley and grow. So one of my goals here and one of my objectives with this show is to highlight people so they become acquainted with who's here and where to go to
microgrowth.
get things done. And
It,
yeah,
I
get
agree.
involved and to really be excited about what we have because it is amazing. It really is. I've
It
traveled all over the world and what we have here is incredible. And
is.
but we continue, I think, to spend too much time, in my opinion, going outside the area and doing business with companies and other people outside the Temecula Valley. And I'd like to see us be more, you know, figure out who's here and work with people who are close by. Uh,
Self-sustaining.
be well, yeah, that's a good PC term right now. is be self-sustaining and just be, but it's not anything that should be, because we have so much talent here and there's so much excitement and enthusiasm and just people who are really good at what they do and the
Right.
value that's here. We should, I think, be spending time looking locally first. If you can't find it here, great, go somewhere else. But look here first and see if there's anybody that you can work with here, and keep everything close by. Just makes life easier, right?
It does, and the drive is not necessary. So many people are to the community anyways, and the talent is amazing out here. There's so many amazing doctors and lawyers and entrepreneurs and self-starters, like yourself. You're starting this podcast, and whatever I can do to help support you, you let me know, and I will be there to support you as I support,
Well, thank
all
you.
my
Yeah,
friends.
I'll definitely
You're
take you up on that. What we want to do is I want to bring in more people to interview and then promote our conversations to the local groups here, and
the local level.
yeah,
Mhm.
get everybody aware of who's here and what's
We have
going on.
a lot of we have a lot of manufacturers in this area. We have a helmet company that is for motorcycles and racing. We
Uh,
have the goggle guy. We have Suhr Guitar, which is a fabulous boutique guitar company. Oh gosh, we have so many manufacturers out here in this area, and they're kind of tucked away
uh-huh.
unless you start getting out there and putting your feet on the ground and start knocking on doors. There's a lot of manufacturers that really would love this exposure as well.
Well, if you would be so kind as to provide me with connections, I would be very
Absolutely.
happy with that. Yeah, very appreciative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, last question. We're about out of time. It's gone really fast, huh?
Oh my goodness, it has.
Yeah. So what do you see as the future? What's the vision for Hope Sir right now in terms of your leadership in the community and where you want to take your family and your business?
Well, I had mentioned earlier that I am looking to grow my team.
Hmm.
I want to bring in more that want to wrap their brain around this business and a residual income that has the right motives, because there's a lot of people in this business that don't have the right motives. They're in it just to make the money. You can't. And you have to have the mindset of helping. My husband is a PA, physician's assistant, and he just got his insurance license because he's going to be retiring. He's going to jump in here and help me because he's got the knowledge. He's so
Hmm.
smart when it comes to this kind of stuff. He'll be just an added benefit to the team. My son is now doing it, so I'm third generation. So I have licenses in 5 states. I'm going to grow more with that. So I'll be bringing on more insurance license and teams outside of this area. Now, I do want to huddle in this area because I think it's really important to help the families here first with these this kind of income, because it can be
Hmm.
so wonderful. So again, just grow my team. I want to have a team of 100 in about 5 years. That would be ideal for me, because I don't want to have out of control growth. I want to have controlled growth, because
Okay.
if I'm out of control, then I won't be able to help and service each one so well. It'll be a little out of control because there's a lot of information, and you think you're hitting on something or given the information, whether it's an email or not, because we all look at our emails, but we don't always read through everything, because with this industry, there's a lot of information and you have to stay on top of your game. So I'm looking to help nourish this area with money, with a great business, and it is duplicatable. And I love that. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm on a fabulous, I have what we call a FMO, which is who we have to be under. You have to be under an order to be licensed. So there's a lot of legalities. There's a lot of things that people don't realize that go on. All the licensing, all of the training that you have to go through. So going back to your question, I need to find somebody or team or people that want to dive in, learn, and take the time to want to learn and understand this business and build, scale.
Excellent. 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 Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Being on the
45 minutes.
goes fast. It's fun. So yeah, and so we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you out and about. Looking forward to our next chat.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been such a blessing.
Oh, my pleasure. Yes. Thank you.
Bye-bye.